All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to unlock the secrets to crafting AI photo prompts that give you truly professional, stunning results. We're going to show you how to go from getting kind of generic images to creating precisely controlled, high-quality portraits, all by just using the right words.
Okay, let's take a look at this. I mean, at first glance, it looks like some kind of crazy magic spell, right? But what you're actually looking at is a super precise recipe. It's a set of instructions for an AI, telling it exactly what kind of professional portrait to create. And believe me, every single word here counts.
So, what if you could turn words just like that into an image that looks like this? The secret here isn't magic. It's really just about communication. You just have to learn to speak the language of a professional photographer. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to teach you the grammar. By the time we're done, you'll be writing prompts with total intention and control.
All right, first things first. We've got to break down the terms that control the camera's perspective and focus. Think of it this way. This is all about how the AI sees your subject, and it all starts with the lens.
So our prompt calls out an 85mm lens. Now, that's not just some random number pulled out of a hat. In the photography world, this is the absolute go-to choice for professional portraits. And there's a really good reason for that. Okay, so here's the why, and this is what's really cool. An 85mm lens makes faces look supernatural. It has this subtle compression effect that just isolates the subject beautifully. You know that kind of weird, slightly distorted look you sometimes get with a selfie on your phone? Yeah, this lens avoids all of that. It makes your subject the undeniable star of the show. All right, next up in our prompt, we see f2.8. This little number is called the aperture, or f-stop, and trust me, it is incredibly powerful. It's what controls how much light gets in, and, this is the fun part, it's what creates that gorgeous blurry background that makes portraits just pop. So here's the key thing to remember, and it's a little counterintuitive. The lower the f-stop number, the wider the opening in the lens is. And a super wide opening, like our f2.8, does two things. It lets in a ton of light, and it just obliterates the background into a beautiful blur. That is the secret sauce for that high-end professional look.
And here you can see the difference clear as day. On the left, you've got our f2.8. See how it creates that shallow depth of field? The subject is the absolute hero. Now look at the right. That's what you'd get with a higher number, like f11. Everything is sharp. That's fantastic if you're shooting a big landscape, but for a portrait where you want focus, not so much.
So when you put those two things together, that amazing 85mm lens and that wide f2.8 aperture, you get this magical thing photographers call creamy bokeh. This isn't just any blurry background, we're talking about the quality of the blur. It's smooth, it's soft, it's just gorgeous. It basically takes a potentially distracting background and melts it away into this beautiful abstract painting of color.
Okay, so we've got our virtual camera and lens all picked out. Now let's move on to maybe the most important part of photography, light. We're going to talk about how to paint with light because it's what truly shapes the mood and quality of your final image. So you'll notice our prompt gets really specific. It asks for Rembrandt lighting. And why that? Well, it's named after the painter for a reason. This classic style instantly injects drama and this feeling of three-dimensional depth into the shot. See that little triangle of light on the cheek? That is the signature move. It's what takes a photo from being flat to feeling like a sculpted masterpiece.
And this is how pros achieve it, with what's called a three-point lighting setup. It's like a recipe. First, you have your key light. That's the main event, the one creating the drama and shadows. Then, you bring in the fill light from the other side to soften those shadows so they aren't too harsh. And for the final touch, a rim light from behind, which creates that subtle, beautiful outline that makes the subject pop right off the background.
And just when you thought it couldn't get more detailed, our prompt specifies 5200 Kelvin. Now, listen up because this has nothing to do with how bright the light is. This is all about the actual color of the light.
Yeah, the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to think about a flame. A low Kelvin number is like the warm orange glow of a candle. A really high Kelvin number is more like a cool, intense blue flame from a blowtorch. What we're aiming for is something perfectly in the middle. And there it is. See how our prompt's 5200K sits right in that perfect neutral zone? There's a reason this is the professional standard. It's because it gives you the most natural, most accurate skin tones possible. No weird orange tint, no chilly blue cast, just clean, true-to-life color.
Okay, so you've got the building blocks now, right? Lens, aperture, lighting, and color. This is where you stop being just a prompter and you become the art director.
You can now mix and match these terms to get the AI to create completely different styles.
And check this out. This is where it all comes together. Want that polished, professional, corporate look? You're going to ask for an 85mm lens and some even studio lighting. But what if you want something more moody and artistic? Easy. Just ask for dramatic side lighting and shallow depth of field. Or hey, maybe you want an environmental portrait, something that tells a story. You'd go for a wider 35mm lens and ask for window light to get that natural documentary vibe. You see, the creative control is all yours.
All right, let's bring it all home. We're going to circle back to that original prompt we started with, and now you'll see how every single piece just clicks into place.
See? It's not so intimidating now, is it? This isn't just a wall of confusing text anymore. You know what this means now. You know 85mm at f/2.8 gets you that creamy bouquet. You know Rembrandt lighting is going to give it drama, and 5200K is for perfect skin tones. It's not a magic spell. It's a blueprint for a fantastic image.
And that's really the big takeaway here. Getting great results from an AI isn't just about throwing vague, creative words at it. It's about giving clear, technical directions. It's about learning to speak the language the tool actually understands.
So, here are a few best practices to keep in mind. You really only need 2 or 3 of these key technical terms to make a huge difference. Then you can mix those with creative words to set the mood. You know, words like confident or calm. It's that perfect blend, the science of photography mixed with the art of storytelling.
And really, that's the whole game. We've totally deconstructed the language of professional photography. We took that big, scary prompt, we pulled it apart piece by piece, and now you know exactly what everything does. You've got the grammar, you've got the vocabulary, you have the tools to build your own powerful prompts.
So, now it's your turn. With everything you've just learned, you can stop just generating random images and start directing them with real artistic intent. You're not just a user anymore, you're a creator. So the only question left is, what story are you going to tell?